Imagine a season hanging by a thread before it even begins. A team brimming with talent, but haunted by inconsistency. A city hungry for success, but braced for disappointment. Behind the scenes, the pressure mounts. The whispers intensify, and one decision could change everything. I'll tell you everything in detail, but first, hit the like button and tell me in the comments, would you like Kevin to stay on the team or leave? I want to hear your opinion. Kevin Stefanski is officially on the hot seat, and it's no longer just talk from the fans. Vegas agrees. The sportsbooks have listed Stefanski as the coach with the fourth highest odds of being fired this NFL season, sitting at plus 650. That's behind only Mike McDaniel, Brian Dable, and Shane Steichen. It's a shocking position for a guy who has two 11-win seasons under his belt in Cleveland and was coach of the year not once, but twice, in 2020 and 2023. But in the NFL, it's always what have you done for me lately, and last year's nightmare 3-14 season has put Stefanski under the microscope like never before. Let's be honest, Stefanski's tenure in Cleveland has been nothing short of a roller coaster. In 2020, he led the Browns to their first playoff appearance in 18 years and even snagged a victory over the Steelers. It was a dream come true. That offensive line was elite, with Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller playing like all pros. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt were unstoppable, and Baker Mayfield was managing games like a seasoned vet. Everything clicked. But then came the inconsistency. In 2021 and 2022, the Browns went 8-9 and 7-10, with Baker playing through injuries and the team lacking a real offensive identity. The highs were high, but the lows were brutal. And then last year, everything fell apart. Even with a defense that came alive under Jim Schwartz and the kind of depth at quarterback you rarely see in one season, cycling through multiple starters before Joe Flacco came in and played hero ball, Stefanski couldn't get it done. Finishing last in the division in 2024 after a promising 2023 season where they came in second in the AFC North and made the playoffs, has raised serious questions about whether he's the guy to lead this team moving forward. The AFC North is no joke, and Cleveland has found themselves at the bottom of it twice in the last 3 years. That just doesn't cut it. What makes Stefanski's situation even more precarious is the talent on this Browns roster. You can't argue that this team lacks weapons. Even in their worst seasons, they've had serious playmakers. Think about the 2020 roster again: Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, that stacked O-line, Chubb, and Hunt. Any coach would have dreamed of those tools. And now, the 2024 rookie class looks poised to be something special. We've got players who can contribute right away, and if things go sideways again, fans and front office alike are going to be pointing fingers at the coaching staff, mainly Stefanski. Let's not forget Jim Schwartz. That man came in last year and completely revamped the defense. His four-man rush schemes and emphasis on pressure turned the unit into a top-tier group. When you've got Myles Garrett terrorizing QBs and Schwartz dialing up smart game plans, there's no excuse not to compete. And that's exactly why the spotlight is on Stefanski. With this much talent, underperformance won't be tolerated. It just can't be. And now there's the Quinshon Judkins situation adding another layer of uncertainty. Browns fans are still waiting for the rookie running back to ink his deal. While Isaiah Bond, another rookie with a legal issue, has already been signed, Judkins remains in limbo. The Browns hold the leverage here. They drafted Judkins, meaning he's locked in and can't walk. And with the NFL still investigating his case, the Browns are biding their time. But make no mistake, this kid is a beast. Explosive, physical, and relentless, Judkins scored 16 touchdowns and rushed for over 1,000 yards at Ohio State in 2024. Once signed, he could very well take over this backfield and become the focal point of Cleveland's ground attack. And in a system that has historically leaned on the run game for success, that's a big deal. Still, the fact that Cleveland hasn't sealed the deal yet is frustrating for fans. Everyone wants to see Judkins in orange and brown, especially with the uncertainty around Nick Chubb's return to full strength. The running game has been a cornerstone of the Browns' identity for years, and Judkins could be the key to maintaining that legacy moving forward. So where does all of this leave us? It's clear the pressure is on Stefanski in a way it hasn't been before. His overall record, 41-46 including the playoffs, doesn't inspire confidence. He's never won the AFC North. And with the Browns front office continuing to bring in talent through smart drafts and aggressive scouting, there's a growing sense that maybe this team has outgrown its coach. that maybe, just maybe, it's time for a new voice in the locker room. But here's the thing. Stefanski has shown he can win. He's led this team to 2 playoff appearances in one of the NFL's toughest divisions. He's navigated quarterback chaos, major injuries, and public pressure. He's not a bad coach by any stretch. But in this league, being not bad isn't enough. Especially not in Cleveland, not now. So what do you think, Browns fans? Is this Stefanski's last shot? Will he survive the season, or is it time to move on from the coach who gave us that unforgettable playoff win in Pittsburgh? Let me know what you think in the comments. The situation only gets more complicated when you factor in the expectations heading into this season. This roster isn't built to rebuild, it's built to win now. Myles Garrett is in his prime and coming off another dominant season. The front office didn't just sit around during the offseason either. They've continued to bolster both sides of the ball, and the pieces are clearly in place to make a serious run, especially if they can stay healthy. That's what makes the Stefanski conversation so tense. It's no longer about potential or patience. It's about results, and results now. Fans aren't going to accept another midseason meltdown or another year where the Browns can't figure it out until December. And honestly, with the amount of quarterback drama this team has endured over the last few years, stability from the coaching staff should be the one thing Cleveland can count on. But if Stefanski can't deliver, then what's left? What's the justification for keeping him if the team comes out flat again or fails to reach .500? This is also where Judkins' eventual signing becomes even more critical. If the Browns can get him on the field early, he could provide the kind of spark this offense needs. A back who can break tackles, hit holes with explosiveness, and take over games, that's exactly the kind of player who can take pressure off the quarterback, control the clock, and keep the defense fresh. And if Judkins lives up to the hype, the offense becomes multidimensional again, something we haven't consistently seen since Chubb and Hunt were in full form. On the other hand, the Browns' patience with Judkins' contract situation could backfire. If the NFL hands down a suspension or the deal drags out into the season, it could limit what this team can do offensively early on. That, in turn, adds even more pressure on Stefanski to find ways to win without one of his most promising weapons. And that's where coaching creativity, or lack thereof, will be exposed. At the end of the day, the Browns are a team that has tasted playoff glory and knows what it feels like to be taken seriously. The fan base isn't satisfied with moral victories or hollow rebuild promises anymore. If this season slips away the way 2024 did, the noise will only get louder. And if Stefanski is still standing at the end of it, it will mean he did something he hasn't consistently done, deliver when it matters most. Let me know in the comments, do you think Kevin Stefanski will finally put it all together and silence the doubters, or are we watching the final chapter of his tenure in Cleveland unfold? Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe for more news. Go Browns!